And then the narrator says, thus saying he, Satyavan, that righteous soul, devout to the venerable elders and dear to them, started weeping aloud. He has become so emotional, see. That is Vyasa's Satyavan, see. Filled with sorrow and raising both his hands. Seeing her husband in grief and broken down, he is speaking this way. Savitri, the follower of Dharma, of the right conduct, wiped tears from her own eyes and said, if at all I had done any hard austerities, if I had done any tapasya, any sadhana, given away sacred arms, or ever made proper fire offering, done yajna, proper yajna, then by that merit of my good conduct, of my punya karma, of my following the dharma, of doing vratas, by that merit, let this night prove to my in-laws auspicious. She puts all her tapasya in that word, let them. If ever I have spoken playfully or unbecomingly something that is not true, that I do not recollect. By the strength of that truth, let my in-laws be safe and living. She is assuring her husband. And then Satyavan says, we shall now return. So he takes a decision. The best thing for us is to return. We shall now return. O Savitri, eager as I am and impatient to meet my parents. Moreover, shall I not be seeing the revered ones, dear to me as they are revered ones, the sages, the munis, the rishis who are there in the forest? I will go and offer my respects to them by going back. O fair and beautiful lady, should I see something disagreeable happen to my father or my mother, I say truly touching myself that I shall not be living anymore. I touch the stone. I will not be living if something goes wrong there. If your understanding is fixed in the dharma, you are asserting that you are fixed in dharma, in the good conduct, in the right conduct. If you desire me to be living, or if you take it as your duty to accept what is pleasing to me, that is what the wife is supposed to do, pleasing to me, then let us both return to the ashram immediately. Now he says here, if you desire me to be living, you see, she has brought him back, and now he says, and now he says, if you desire me to be living, you see. And then that virtuous woman, Savitri, then getting up, knotted her loose hair and clasped both the hands of her husband, helping him to stand, because he was weak, lifting her up. Satyavan also stood up and with one hand dusted his body. While looking around in all the directions, he is getting up now and seeing all around. He noticed the fruit basket lying in a little farther away. What he had collected in the morning, that basket was lying there. But then Savitri told him that the fruit basket could be collected the next morning. Don't worry about the fruit. She already got the reward. She got the fruit, so don't worry about the fruit basket. However, she wanted to carry his axe for safety and protection. He was using the axe for collecting wood and fruits. She wanted that to be carried by him for safety and protection. She tied the basket filled with fruit to the low branch of a nearby tree, and with the axe in her hand went back where her husband was. So she is carrying the axe with him. So the fruit basket is still hanging on the tree. She didn't go morning, next day morning she didn't go there to collect it. See? So it must be still there. And we have to collect the fruits of that effort, that work what they have done. We have to still collect that. That is lying there, that fruit basket is there hanging in the garden. See? If only we make a little effort to go and collect those fruits. You see? Taking her husband's left hand around her shoulder. So he takes her hand and puts away. Her own right hand encircling his waist. With the right hand she is encircling her. His left hand she is putting on her shoulder. Well bosomed as she was, and with slow elegance of an elephant's gait, the way she used to walk, she would walk like an elephant. Gaja Gamini, the way the elephant walks. She is, in fact, Vyasa says Gaja Gamini. She is Gaja, Gaja means elephant. Gamini, the way the elephant walks. She started walking. And then Satyavan says, now Satyavan becomes bold and he says, oh timid woman. He calls her timid woman, you see. See. Bhiru. Timid is Bhiru. She has won a battle against him and fought all that thing, etc., etc. And he calls her a timid woman, Bhiru. Oh timid woman, by frequenting this region, I have become quite familiar with several paths here. All the paths, they are very familiar to me because I have been visiting here often. Looking simply at the stars through the branches of the trees, I can identify them easily. Paths I can easily, I don't have to see any path. Simply by looking at the stars at this time of the year, I know which path will go where. You see. Looking simply at the stars through the branches of the trees, I can identify them easily. Now the whole description what we have here. Dark night, she is trying to take fire from the burning tree and seeing the road and all that. It means that it is the no moon night, Amavasya. It is Amavasya. The death occurs when there is no moon, Amavasya. Therefore the stars are there, and by simply looking at the stars, I can move. So according to the description, the death occurs on the no moon night, Amavasya. And that happens in the month of Jeshta, that is June, roughly. Indeed, this is the same path by which we came and along which we gathered fruit. In the morning we came by the same path, so it is this path we have to take now. Oh, pretty and bright, follow it and proceed without worrying about the path. So don't be concerned about it, that we'll get lost in the forest. We'll get lost in the forest, don't bother about that thing. I am pretty sure about that thing. Then, this is a most wonderful statement. Most beautiful. Near the group of Palasha trees, the path bifurcates and moves in two different directions. There is a group of trees, the path bifurcates in two places. Near the group of Palasha tree, the path bifurcates and moves in two different directions. Take the one which leads to the north. But now, speed up, hurry up. He is telling her, come on, let's hasten to go back. Now this is a very beautiful description, I must say. This is a Palasha tree. Palasha, flame of the forest. Flame of the forest. And mother's name for that flower, the tree is beginning of the supramental realization. So when he says Palasha tree, he is not just describing nature and things like that. It is symbolic, it is loaded, it is charged. Symbolically, the story is a very rich story in that sense. It is the beginning of the supramental realization. The flame of the forest, Palasha. In other words, they are going back now to the world of people, forest all is over. And they want to speed up. towards the beginning of supramental realization, new dawn. He says, move into, take the one which leads to the north. North, Uttara, high, rising up, going forward, moving up. That is what Uttara means. Climbing up towards spiritual heights. Climbing up towards spiritual heights where? Supramental realization, beginning of supreme. So the whole phrase, this whole sloka in that sense is already charged with the new possibilities of creation which we have got here. See, this is the sloka here. Palasha khande chaitasmin pantha vyavatartare vidha. Vidha means bifurcation too. Palasha khande, a group of palasha trees. Chaitasmin pantha, the path bifurcates. Tasyottarena, there uttarena, the one which goes toward this north, you take that. Gaccha, swarasva cha. So you take that path which now moves towards the north. So this is a symbolic way of saying that new dawn, new creation, new spiritual possibility has opened out. That way, the story is a very powerful story. In fact, had the story not been so powerful, it would not have served the purpose of Sri Aurobindo's yogic expression. The story is so powerful that it can contain, it can hold all that is there in his yogic expression, yogic realization. Every aspect of his yogic realization can be expressed through this narrative. That is the greatness of the original story. Don't just read it as a narrative, but it is a loaded narrative in that sense. Otherwise, he would not have selected this story. He would have perhaps made his own story. But this is a Vedic story belonging to the Vedic cycle. And when they are narrating this thing, they are narrating it as a way of expression of the spiritual possibilities which are present for this mortal creation. Palasha Khande, at the group of Palasha trees, you will reach there. You take the path which goes to the north, up, noble path, rising path. Take the one which leads to the north. I am in good state and I have strength and I am anxiously desired. Now let us hurry up and go back. You see. He then, saying so, started walking in great haste towards the ashrama. So this is what we have as a part of the epilogue in the Mahabharata story. And it's a very powerful one. In that sense, we can say that as if and day and night lay into each other's arms. So that's the whole epilogue. Possibly, had Sri Aurobindo revised this one, had he time, he would have elaborated on those elements in his own spiritual vision, which are present in the original story of Vyasa. Sri Aurobindo says, about this we shall see later on, that later on could have in some manner or the other elaborated on Palasha Khande, the group of Palasha trees, and go to the north, up, rising path, climbing path.
Palasha leaves also they use,
Yes, that's right. And that color also we use, that fruit, the flower color you see. Flower color we use, you see. If you put it soak in water, it gives very beautiful orange color. And on holy days, they spray that color, Palasha color, which is very symbolic. When you are spraying the flower color of Palasha. It means that you are really bringing that beginning of supramental realization. You are spraying on everybody. See, that is the true significance of it. Palasha. Now, this thing, Palasha, is basically, Vyasa has selected this tree and this particular flower in that sense very purposefully, obviously, indicating all the symbolism which is there behind it. This Panasha appears in the Rig Veda, Mandala 10th. I don't remember the Sukta now, but it is there in Mandala 10. I think it is Sukta 90, I don't know, I will check that. And there, the Rishi says, it is under the Palasha tree, Yama, the god of death, is drinking the wine of immortality. Drinking the wine of immortality. It is so charged, so full of it. It means that it is that ananda, that rasa, that soma, that sweetness of that Palasha, of supramental manifestation. It is that he is enjoying under the Palasha tree. That is what the Vedic Rik says very clearly. Now that has not been brought here because this was written, it was kind of, shall we say, left incomplete, or even though had he described all those things, Palasha Khanda, the supramental world, manifestation and all those things, had he described those things, it would have been a kind of an imagination, not yet a realized truth, fact of this existence in 1950. It had to happen after 1950. Therefore, he is not going to write something which is not there, achieved yogically. Therefore, he says about that we shall see later. When that is done, then we shall write the epilogue. Then we shall write the epilogue. Well, then now the dusk, shadowy trees stood close around like dreaming spirits and delaying night.